Martin was struggling just a little bit and put out a letter of interest to various communities around Middle Tennessee, Lebanon being one, and we indicated a willingness to move at that point to the highest bidder, basically. And at that point, Pulaski and Giles County really stepped up and said, we need this college here. This is an important part of our future. And they invested in the college at that point. And truthfully, it's continued since then. They have really been responsive. And I guess the symbol of that responsiveness is the Giles County campaign, the scholarship campaign that goes on every year. This year, we'll raise approximately $150,000 in scholarships, mainly from business and industry. And that goes to begin the financial aid packages for every single one of our Giles County students. Every student that comes here from Giles County begins with a $1,000 scholarship, and it comes from that Giles County scholarship program. Now, I'll say very quickly that the average Giles County student gets a lot more in financial aid than that, but it begins with that first $1,000. We're very grateful for the continuing and enthusiastic support that Giles County and Pulaski provide for Martin. Very important to what we're doing.
I was, if I were leaving Martin College and heading east, I'd come across East Campus, and that is a complex that is simply amazing. I've seen minor league baseball parks that there's nowhere as nice as what you guys have done out there. Talk a little bit about that East Campus.
Yeah, well, when the college made the decision to move to the baccalaureate status back in 1995, we were looking at the campus trying to figure out, and this is really from an architectural perspective, trying to figure out what all we needed to be a full-fledged baccalaureate institution. And it was very clear that we couldn't do everything we needed to do: grow the academic program, grow the residential program, and grow the athletic program, all in the context of where we are in this beautiful historic neighborhood. So the decision was made to buy additional property to move all of the athletic functions eventually over time will be on the East Campus. And so we've sort of been working on that for the last 10 plus years. And this year, a big major $3.5 million development out there that's now open, with a new softball stadium, new baseball stadium, intramural and practice field for our non-intercollegiate students, and then also really beautiful kind of recreational space with a pond and eventually some walking trails. And also an indoor practice facility will serve as the field house for the other facilities, locker rooms and so on, but also an indoor practice field that's amazing opportunity for our athletes. It's actually larger than the Christian Life Center basketball gymnasium floor, the arena floor, and it's an artificial turf room that's available during inclement weather or for special skills development for our intercollegiate athletes, but also for the community. We've had several weekend indoor soccer league championship games in there, and so it's a wonderful new facility for us, and I think a good indication of where things are going at Martin. That's a pretty good indicator of the kinds of facilities we're going to be building in the future as the program continues to grow.
I'm sure that you have certainly paid attention and very well aware of the nice enrollment growth that you've experienced over your tenure. And I don't know if attracting students is more difficult today than it was 10 years ago or 15 or 20 years ago. But I'd like you to talk a little bit about the student that comes here. What is the main attraction, or how do you go about attracting those kids? Because I know from a sports standpoint, you would obviously be an easy sell with the national championships that you guys have obviously won and done a great job with. But your diversity within the student bodies is incredible. Talk a little about that.
Yeah. It is extraordinary, and I don't take a lot of credit for it because most of that has been here long before I got here. I certainly indicate my own joyfulness about it, but I don't claim responsibility for any of that. But we have, at any given moment, roughly 15% of the student body here at Martin is international from beyond the bounds of the U.S. And as important, I think, is that 14% of our student body is American ethnic minorities. And if you'll check the state institutions in Tennessee, you'll find that their average across the state is much less than that. Now that's counterintuitive. You don't think of a private institution being that diverse from an American ethnic perspective, but it is a fact that Martin is more diverse from an ethnic perspective than any other state institution in Tennessee, with the exception of the historically black institution, Tennessee State University. And so we're very proud of that. We approach that as an educational asset. That's another tool that we use. And I always tell freshman parents, your child's moving into the dorm right now. The education has already begun. You know, they probably moved into a room next door to a student from Brazil or from Japan, and they're getting acquainted, and there's education that happens in the process. So even before you go to class at Martin, there's a lot of education that's going on. And it's important education. In some respects, it's the more vital education than the kind of book learning that you see in the classroom. So we use that as an educational asset, and I think it's important, not just for the campus, but also for Giles County to have that kind of diversity represented at both of our community, but also at the globe, the entire globe. So.
When I think of Martin College, I think many people feel this way, but we see Martin College is someone who contributes, who gives back significantly to the community. Talk a little bit about the way Martin goes about doing that.
Well, I wish we were able to do more, to be honest. I see every day some way that Martin could be a better corporate contributor to the community, but as a nonprofit institution, there are sort of limits to what we can do, and so we use the primary assets that we have there, educational assets, facilities, but we really want the campus to be open to the community, and we encourage folks to come onto the campus and use our facilities whenever they wish, and nonprofits in the community can use our facilities at no cost to them. But the movie theater, the Martin Movie Theater, is a good example, perhaps, of a way that we decided we were going to try to give back to the community. Here we've got an auditorium, plenty of seats in it, a nice theater that could be used on weekends, and we made it possible for a nonprofit movie theater, and we're now getting first-run movies for our community. Be nice to have a prettier facility that's got 6 screens, but we're not there yet. but I think that's a good example, and we're constantly trying to partner with local organizations. We're certainly partnering with industry now for specialized educational programs and training that they need. So again, this new wave related to Martin 2020 is really trying to attend to the needs of our community and region. And we're out there asking the question, what do you need that Martin might be able to fulfill? And we're going to try to respond to every one of those that we can.
Thank you very much. I want to thank you for your time today. Thank you for your platinum sponsorship to the Chamber, and I certainly want to thank you for the vision that you lead in the community.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.